Hey everybody, I'm gonna make this video. It's kind of a candid message I've been wanting to share with some folks. Kind of some things I need to get off my chest, just in the tone of today's society. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, I want to make this video because there's some things that I wanted to talk about, like things I've been seeing lately. I saw recently, there's a lot of things that have happened in the last 2 years. And I want to speak kind of to those things a little bit. I saw a comment recently. It was something to the effect of this guy saying, why do First Nations people believe in Jesus Christ? And then another guy's comment was something to the effect of, residential school brainwashed these folks and they just pounded it into them. They're brainwashed or whatever. And I didn't care for that comment because I think that the reasons why a person would believe in Jesus Christ is a very personal thing, and I just want to speak to that. Why does a First Nations person believe that? For me personally, it's my father's father's father. My father went to residential school very briefly, and my grandfather also did. And this is kind of intense for me, but I gotta say this. And so did his my great grandfather, Ashiel Ketlo. I know he used to carry the priest around on his back, from the residential school. And it wasn't, he was, I guess he had a name, Azatne. He was a big name. And what that comes with is like a code of ethics, Like you got to be a good person. Like you can't swear, you can't drink around, you can't steal and stuff like this. But he lived by a code of ethics. I didn't never know the man. I just know what's involved with that name, right? And this guy believed, And Rose Prince of the Carrier also, she believed and prayed to Jesus Christ. And a lot of our elders that went to residential school do too. And I don't think that it's because residential school inspired Jesus Christ in these people. If anything, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that the Rosicrucians or the Jesuits or whomever, that whole sect, like there was some dirtiness in there, and maybe even to borderline occultish. And what happened was these guys besmirched Jesus' name. They abused children there, right? That's my little boy back there. But they abused children at this place, right? So if anything, to me, that would have stopped. And I think it has rocked a lot of people's faith. I think a lot of people are questioning their spirituality and stuff right now. So I just wanted to address that a little bit, because it's like, I hope I have the right words here. I'm just going live to do this because I actually pulled over my car to talk because it's been on my mind so much and it feels like I have to say this. But people are trying to call me. Nobody calls me all day, and then when I do this, I'm getting 3 calls. Okay, so the spirituality. My grandfather, Johnny Ketlo, he believed in God, right? And I got this thing right here on my dash. It says, "In all ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." Always acknowledge him, he shall direct the paths. And that man lived, he prayed, he got very prayerful. At the end of your life, when you're young, you're wild and stuff, and it seems like you could never die. But in the last 2 years, there's been a lot of death. And it's made me think, and I saw my friend Miranda today, and she was knocking on death's door there for a while. And it nearly brought me to tears. And I was at the office earlier, and I was feeling intensely, just like a burning in my belly to say this, which is, life is short. And it's like, in the Bible, Jesus said, life is a vapor. It's like a vapor, and 60, 70, 80, 90 years you live, but it's not very long. And the choices we make here when we're on this earth is echoing into eternity how we will be sealed there. And for me personally, I have a lot of other reasons why I believe too, not just my great-grandfather and my grandfather, things my dad said to me. Now, when I look back on I'm turning 42 this month, and just thinking about my own mortality and life in general, I'm just thinking like of all the things I did with my life, all the bad things that I did. Like, I played in a metal band for years and years with like big devil logos on it, and we would play shows in Edmonton with bands called like Dead Jesus and stuff like this. And like, I'm not saying anything bad about those guys, but I'm just saying that when you start to get a sense of your own mortality, you start to really think about these things. So another reason why I believe is just, I'm trying to articulate these words, but like, another reason why I believe is, well, I had a boy recently, my son, and that would have never happened if I never really found Jesus Christ. It was his influence on my life that made me smarten up and stop drinking and stop drugging and stop womanizing and doing all these things that I was involved in, that I had no problem doing because I felt like I was justified somehow to just live this life of just reckless debauchery. And it wasn't until I found Jesus that I turned it around, and I got a good wife, and I got my little boy over there. And now, with that family, it comes a responsibility. You start to realize you have more to live for than you did maybe before, or maybe you just didn't understand because you're too young or what. Like, maybe it's the wisdom of the years, but I'm starting to feel like, how do I say this? Like I've made the wrong choices, and now I'm trying to figure it out and do the best I can, and I have been. And so in that spirit, why I pulled over here is because, any of us could go any day. And I'm talking. Excuse me? Okay. Sorry. Hi, Sean. Thanks for watching, guys. And sorry, I'm just having trouble articulating my words here. I'm just pulled over on the side of the road because I felt like I've just been feeling intense lately, spiritually intense, and because so many people have passed, and because of such the hard times, and because the residential school revelation of all those dead bodies of the children, and I've been listening to people come to me and say like, oh, my faith is rocked, and I have to say, I don't know like what the Vatican's up to, but they got like a weird Lucifer telescope in the Apache Death Mountains, and I don't know why they would do that, but they're not. If they're besmirching the name of Jesus by abusing kids, that might be by design. I don't know. That's just the way I feel about it. And as I said, my grandfather prayed, and my great-grandfather, and my dad even taught me how. And another reason was I used to suffer really badly from sleep paralysis. So I don't know if anybody else gets sleep paralysis, but it's like a heavy weight is sitting on your chest and you can't breathe, and it's, oh wow, my phone's gonna die. But you can't breathe, and it feels, some people call it old hag syndrome. Some people say it's like a shadow. Sometimes it looks like a shadow man. Sometimes it looks like a beautiful woman. And when she gets close to you, she's very scary. And the only thing that I ever found that helped me banish that instantly was the name Jesus Christ. And that's why I want to come on here and say that, and I want to testify to that, because, thank you, Sean. It's very important to me, and maybe that'll help somebody else. I still have faith in Jesus Christ. I don't like what happened at the residential school. I am not Stockholm Syndrome. I am not brainwashed by residential school. I'm just a dude that I believe because of very personal reasons. Okay, so just to say this, the last thing I gotta say, thanks, Pam. this is the hardest part. So, back a little while, a few, like maybe more than 7 years ago, in my life, there was an abortion, right? And I'm not going to get into the details, but it wasn't good. And a year after that, I had a dream. I dreamed about heaven, and it was like, imagine you're standing on the edge of a cliff looking into the blue sky, and my gaze was fixed. I could only look in one spot. I couldn't move my eyes around. It was like my gaze was stuck to one. I wasn't allowed to look anywhere else. And there was people all around, the ancestors, they were singing. You could hear their voices, and somebody was holding up this baby, Somebody was holding up this baby. It had blue eyes, and man, the feeling of joy was so intense that I was weeping, and weeping for joy of this child. I knew it was mine. It was probably the abortion, and it was intense, to say the least. But I woke up crying, and probably one of the wickedest hangovers I've ever had in my life. But it was like, it was like I got to see heaven. I got to see this baby that was aborted, and that's a true story. And maybe it was just a dream, but it seemed so real, and there was such a powerful emotion attached to it. And I felt like if I didn't say something soon, I felt like I had to pull over my car and tell the story, because it's just eating at me. And this is all. I'm sorry if I'm oversharing or if this is too much information. And a lot of people will probably think that I'm a foolish, total Bible thumping weirdo, and I'm totally willing to take that, because at this point, all I care about is one thing, and that's when I die. If I go before God, and then they ask me the question, "What did you do with the life God gave you?" I want to be able to stand in my Creator's eyes in a good light and feel good, and not be ashamed, and not be like, you see, they say in heaven you have a name. It's a secret name, and it's written on a white stone, and it's a long name, and you don't know what it is. It's secret, but in your life, with your choices, you can squander that name. And so that's what I wanted to say. And so, I do believe in Jesus Christ. No, I don't have Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, my ancestors went to residential school. It wasn't cool. It wasn't fair. It was devilish. And we're all reeling from it and trying to find sure footing. And there's a lot going on. I'm sorry if I triggered anybody, but I just wanted to get that off my chest, and I felt like I had to do it. And if I didn't say something soon, it was going to explode. So, thank you for listening. And hey, I love you guys all. God bless you.